Hey guys, back here from a pad here. Guys, for those of us who grew up in the islands, we know that yellow coat and red coat plums are like some of the most delicious plums that we could have. Here I did some cuttings of my red coat, my yellow coat, and my sister's orange coat plum trees back in January 26th. And today, guys, as you can see, they are fully leafed out and these are ready to be transplanted. Anyway, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be doing one super tree that combines all three plants in one tree. So I'm going to show you how I'm doing that today. This is not my original idea. I got this inspiration when I visited my friends Marcia and Vincent. They have a giant tree that I thought was one tree, but half of the tree is red coat plums, half of the tree is yellow coat plums. And today I'm gonna try and recreate using the method they use, but this time I'm gonna be adding the orange coat also to it. So guys, without further ado, let's get started. All right, so here the plants are. What I did was I took some masking tape and I actually marked on each one, on each individual cutting, whether red or yellow or orange, because once I separate these, the sticks are gonna look the same. So I wanna make sure I don't mix them up. All right, so we're gonna work on the orange coat first. Separate these roots, see what this looks like. I have to be very careful not to like damage the roots. So I see this one here, that's one I'm probably gonna use. It's the biggest one, and the other ones are just beginning to leaf out now. So have my labels on. Let's go ahead and separate this. Using my thumb to gently push the soil up, and I'm supporting from the top to make sure they don't go crashing out. All right, so there we have it. Now I'm gonna just gently separate the roots. Try to do minimal damage as I'm separating. I can kind of feel the roots tearing as I go, so I'm being really gentle. I'm gonna try and take this big one off. That's the one that I want to plant. Then I'll just stick the rest back in the pot until I'm ready to separate them. All right, wow. Okay, so this one has some pretty big, pretty developed roots. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead, do the same for the red and the yellow and show you what they look like. And these are the three cuttings that we're going to be planting. We have the orange, the red, and the yellow. What I did was I just labeled each cutting. I'll get something more permanent, but for now I want to make sure I don't mix them up. These are actually the biggest and the healthiest of all the cuttings. These are the ones that actually had roots. Some of the cuttings didn't have any roots, but the orange had the biggest roots. The red had the second to biggest, and then the yellow had the tiniest roots, but still enough. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix all three soils, all the soil, different soils together, backfill the hole, and I'll show you how I'm gonna plant these three. All right guys, so here's what the soil looks like, and I've already backfilled some into the hole, and I already laid out the plants. See, I laid the three cuttings out just a few inches from each other. So now I'm gonna fill this up and show you the final results. I planted them and I'm giving them a good soaking. I want to make sure the water goes all the way down, and I'm gonna heavily mulch this, probably put a good 2-3 inches of mulch on there. Let's get a little bit closer so you can see what I did. So as you can see, I planted the three plants, the three cuttings, but what I did is, you notice that what I try to do is put the branches pointing out. So I didn't put the branches pointing towards each other. Even of course, these are going to grow together and all the branches are going to be intertwined. But just for now, I plant with the branches facing that way. Same thing here. You see the orange coat is facing that way. The yellow coat has one facing that way, one facing this way. But for the first several months, they should be good. It's June 10th now, so I'm in Central Florida, so I have at least a good 5 months of growth before the cold weather comes in. All right guys, so that's it for this. Let me know if you've done something like this before. Of course, the person who I followed, who I was following doing this, they use much smaller cuttings and they put them in a small, like a quart-size Ziploc bag with soil and buried it. But I'm gonna try the same concept. I do have another yellow coat and red coat plum tree in my garden, so if this fails, I do have backups. And I do have a couple extra orange core cuttings. I have one spot I want to put one by itself, maybe over by the chicken run area. These trees can get pretty big, so I have to be kind of careful where I put it. And that's one of the main reasons why I did 3 in one hole, just so I can enjoy all 3 fruit from one tree without having to take up half of the garden. All right, guys, that's it for today's video. I actually hear thunder. We've been going through a horrible drought period, so I'm gonna get these things back inside so before this rain starts. Anyway, guys, till next time, bye now.